Hey Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Hello Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash, double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, who learned the truth of the gospel of Yahweh Shai from, and peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect, the men, women, and children that are predestined to receive salvation and to be the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel. It's the brother Atazawam. I was just watching this real quick, watching this YouTube channel called The Common Sin Show by Dave Hodgetts. All right, every so often he has some good information that he brings out. All right, another one of these so-called truthers. Okay, so sometimes, like I said, he brings out some current event news and things of that nature that we use to tie into the scriptures and the prophecy. All right, just to give the edification and bring out the warning to our people. This video right here that I was just watching is entitled "Increasing Number of Americans Having Catalyptic Visions." Okay, increasing number of Americans having catalyptic visions. Salakia, and what he goes into is the fact that he's getting a lot of emails about, from various different people in America. He also says, internationally as well, people saying that they're having dreams of apocalyptic, destruction, earthquakes, just all hell breaking loose. And, I found that interesting. But now, as I was watching it, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I was watching it and, Esau being the devil, all right, he's trying to explain these visions from a scientific standpoint, all right, and using Esau's science so falsely called, trying to give an explanation on why these things are happening, when ultimately, the scriptures lets us know clearly that these things happening were going to be something that was done supernaturally, all right, by Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to show the signs of the times that we're in. All right, and just to go straight to it, the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 28. It says, "And it shall come to pass that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh." Okay, and when I've mentioned this before, but when you type in the Spirit of the Lord on any Bible app, two things usually follow from, when the Spirit of the Lord falls upon a person. It's either they prophesy, or either, they get down and get physical. All right. Some supernatural, spiritual power event takes place. Okay. And prophesying is a supernatural divine power. All right. And visions as well can be, included in prophecy, because to say before, you gotta, all of the ancient prophets, in order for them to prophesy, the Lord, gave them the Spirit of the Lord came upon them, and a lot of times they seen visions. All right, a lot of times they seen things that were given unto them that was going to happen in the future. And then because they was able to see those things, they were able to prophesy about them. And then, during the dispensation of time, whatever they saw, the Lord had it come to pass. So they were, in essence, able to see the future. All right, Yahweh Shai spoke about, the things that must shortly come to pass. All right, the whole book of Revelation was a book of visions of future events that the Lord gave unto John the Revelator. So here it is, Esau, increasing number of Americans are having apocalyptic visions, seeing destruction, but Esau wants to try to label this as a scientific phenomenon when really it's a supernatural phenomenon. So right here it says Joel chapter 2 verse 28, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions." Okay, let me see what this word visions go into. Visions in the ecstatic state, visions in the night, visions, oracle, prophecy, and divine communication. All right, it says from H2372, a revelation, especially by dream. All right, a vision. All right, so it says, and also upon your servants and upon handmaids, and in those days will I pour out my spirit. And the Lord has this happen all across all nations. All right, especially with Israel, but the Lord has been given, Edomites visions of destruction, because they're not going to get visions of peace. All right, they're not going to get visions of safety unless they're false visions. All right, but as you see here, the title says increasing number of Americans are seeing having visions of catalytic having catalytic visions, which means destruction visions. And that's how you know that this is the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai doing it. So I'm going to play this, a little bit of this real quick just so you can hear it.
Hello, everybody. Americans, international people, but particularly Americans, are having visions and dreams that are quite disturbing. And I'm going to get into that a little bit here on the Common Sense Show, short course version. And just want to know if you're having the same kind of feelings. And I'm going to give you a little physics background to kind of give you an idea of where I'm coming from at this from a scientific, non-esoteric point of view. My name is Dave Hodges. You're watching the Common Sense Show. We are the show that is freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. Thank you so much for watching us. We are brought to you by MyDigitalWallet.com. It's a fantastic organization. Crypto is here.
All right, let me just fast forward that. Because he said from a non-erotistic point of view, okay, when you look up that word erotistic, it basically means, let's see, it says intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge or interest, which really is who? The elect of the nation of Israel, right? The ones of us that's in this truth. But he wants to speak about this from a scientific point of view, as if this can happen, because of, chemical makeup or, your physical ability to be able to, travel to a higher dimension. When in reality, the only way for you to be able to travel to a higher dimension, it has to be by the higher powers ability to give you that ability to do so. Okay, that's not something that just happens, randomly or by mistake. Okay, and the fact that the Lord is having so many people have these same apocalyptic visions goes to show you that it's not something that is by mistake. That he's having these different spirits see these things. All right, apocalyptic events is evident in itself that the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is fulfilling the prophecy of which we just read in Joel 2:28. Because what is the visions? What is the future of this place? What is the future to come? The near future. It's destruction. All right. It's chaos. It's Babylon being destroyed. It's death. All right. It's famines. It's pestilence. Earthquakes in diverse places. So that's why people are seeing these things, because these things were written aforetime to be happening during these times. All right. And that's why the ones of us that have this knowledge and understanding and this truth and this faith, we have believed the report. We have believed the visions of our forefathers. All right. The Lord has given us the spirit to believe these things. And now we teach these things and we see it also. Our brothers, we have dreams, but we actually see it live. We see how everything is manifesting to get to that point of apocalyptic disasters. Okay? And these people are going, trying to have, scholarly conversations about these things, but that's because they're trying to take away the Most High out of it. When he's the one that is creating, he's the one that is doing these things, man. You can't, and that's just going to show you how much of a devil Esau is, where he is trying to take something supernatural and scientifically explain it. And that's why when the spiritual powers happen, you're going to still have people that don't believe because they're going to try to break it down scientifically, and you're going to have people that believe that nonsense, man. They that believe, Esau's pseudoscience and their science so falsely called. But it's going to get to the point that ultimately it's going to be things that are being done that will not be explainable. That they can't even make up an explanation of how this happened, how this occurred. All right?
And this is just one more viable alternative we talked about. But it's not the quantum physics that you were raised on. Or excuse me, it's not quantum physics because you weren't raised on that at all. You were raised on Newtonian, non-hyperdimensional physics, three-dimensional, that's all. Height, width, and depth, that's it. Now, it has its place, but it's kind of like you say, I'm learning to speak a foreign language and you're taking Spanish 101. Okay, well, that'll get you a hello, nice to meet you, and friendly greetings. Teach English pretty universally. Quantum physics model is the model today. And for a lot of reasons that I won't get into today, but some of them tied into Tesla, they don't confiscated his research from.
So like, I'm just trying to move this forward.
$50 million in surprise free. Order delivery online and you might get one.
Hi guys, how are we all doing? I want to introduce you to.
All right, let's talk about the quantum model in dreams and visions, okay? Can you know the future? Listen, I've done remote viewing training, and I'm not an expert. I just did kind of a brief, I know Ed Dames, I can get you in, you get trained with him, and blah, blah, blah. I did that 20 years ago, and it was a pretty remarkable experience. And I've dabbled in it a little bit, but I haven't touched it in years. But can you know things without the five senses? The answer is yes. We have all kinds of data. For example, there's been these social psychology experiments.
And that's the thing, all right? Without the five senses, that's when you tapping into the spiritual, okay? And the only ones that only way that you can tap into the spiritual is either you you have people on the left hand that tap into the spiritual using left-handed, witchcraft and sorcery, aka Esau Edom, right? But to tap into the spirit, to the the spirit on the right hand, you got to only go through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's it. Everything else is left-handed. All right. So for them to say, "Can you know the future?" and speaking specifically about visions and dreams, that's something that is given exclusively by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's point blank. Period. All right. Now you got Esau trying to use his CERN, trying to, use his monthly prognosticators, his stargazers, and all these things. That's on the left hand to try to find the future. But he thinks his pride of his heart has deceived him, and he thinks that his name is going to continue forever. But we know what the future holds, and the visions that we get, and the vision that these people are getting is something that was already written that was going to happen, man. And that's how we know that the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is life, man. All right? They are faithful and they are true. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just found it interesting that, people are calling into him, telling him that they're having, apocalyptic visions of destruction. And then Esau doing what he does, trying to scientifically prove it. But ultimately, this world is about to see things that is unexplainable, man. All right? The impossible is about to happen. And that's only by way of Yahweh, because nothing is impossible to the Lord. So, with that, till next time, shalom.